everyone, welcome to Manifest High Net Worth TV. I am your host, Chihak, and today on the Conscious Billionaire to Be show, we have a phenomenal woman. Her name is Christina Ammerman, and she is a powerful businesswoman. Basically, what she does is she helps entrepreneurs to break any barriers that are stopping them from achieving their highest vision. Do you understand what that really means? I mean, it seems to me, I'm going to let Christina talk about it in a moment, but I mean, it's huge. It seems to me like when you have a vision, you want to be a multimillionaire, or like we do on the show, want to be billionaires. There's going to be a lot of things inside your mind standing in your way. And Christina happens to be the top person, the master of helping you break through even those things that you don't even know you have, that are stopping you from pursuing your billionaire or multimillionaire dream or whatever desire that you have. Anything that's stopping you, she's the master that can help you break it down. Christina, welcome to the Conscious Billionaire to Be show on Manifest High Net Worth TV.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I've been so excited to talk with you, Free, and to share with you and your audience just whatever wants to come through in the conversation today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because that means you've got some things that fascinate me that you do, and I really want to hear it, and I want my listeners to be able to grasp that as well and really take that in as not just a concept, but something that they can actually apply in their lives. So tell us a little bit about this idea of breaking barriers that are stopping us from really achieving our highest possible vision. Because I am telling you, everyone has something that they desire, something incredible that they want to reach for, but as we can see in life, very few people actually achieve those powerful things, those desires that they are meant for, actually. So tell me a little bit about this concept of barrier breaking.
I'd love to, and it was what I do and what I understand about these barriers. It was really all born from me wanting to grow my own business. I started out in a totally different career as an IT programmer, and I transitioned into becoming a massage therapist and Reiki healer. That's where I started my business.
Yeah.
And it was in my home, but that didn't keep me from having big aspirations and just always, like, even when I didn't know where the business was going next, I knew it wanted to grow and I wanted it to grow. And so the mindset stuff started with me noticing that I was getting stuck, that I was, I am, modesty aside, I am a very smart woman. And sometimes I would talk to myself and be like, if I'm so smart, why can't I get myself to do things that I know I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
And I know that it was no accident that by the time I started having those conversations with myself, I was already a Reiki master. So it was natural for me to try out, okay, let me see how Reiki can help me with this. And sometimes it did help. It helped me, feel better, get out of that stuckness, that anxiety. And that started me down the path of, well, what else can energy healing do? And how far can we go with this? And I learned other techniques. And then I wanted to understand, well, what can I apply these techniques to? And that brought me to different resources and teachers that helped me understand what's going on in the subconscious mind. And then my special sauce, so to speak, is to be able to merge that understanding of the mind with what's going on in the chakras and our energy, so that we can heal on all levels and be aligned on all levels. And that's really the key to manifesting whatever we want. So doing it for myself just naturally then became, well, obviously I'm not going to keep that to myself. I'm obviously here to do that for other people.
Exactly.
And clients started showing up, and I was like, hey, I know exactly what you're going through and how to help it. And it unfolded, slowly year after year. I've been in business for myself for 15 years now. So with every step I took, there was clients that showed up that were ready for that step until, until I've gotten to where I am now. And now I'm helping people be ready to be seen and feel supported by the universe and get really clear on what is it they want for themselves versus what is it they think they want because somebody else told them that's what they're supposed to want.
Yes. That is fascinating. I love the fact that you're helping people to more or less differentiate between what they've been told they want. Because I mean, it could get really confusing. I remember from just what you said, reminds me of my little sister who, when she was growing up, we all thought she was going to be a doctor. And this whole idea, because she was really good at sciences, really good at math, just an exceptional, and really a caring person. So her personality combined with all the things that she knew and she was really good at school, led everyone from, my parents to all of our siblings and uncles and aunts telling her, oh, you're going to make a fantastic doctor. You're going to be a great doctor. And then one day she just said, no, I'm not going to be a doctor. I want to be a mathematician. And we were like, what do you mean? It was a shock to us. She didn't want to be, but she explained, she said, and this was an eye opener for me and a mind opener as well. Because she said, all my life, you guys have been telling me what I'm going to be. And nobody bothered to ask me what I wanted to be. You all just assumed that I was going to be a doctor.
I love it.
I say that to say this is really true. What you're doing is very, very important because a lot of people don't even realize, like she was very discerning and very self-aware, I think, to have come to that conclusion. A lot of people just follow in the footsteps of whatever their parents say they're going to be. Everyone has just been programmed. You're really good at this. You're really good at that. So just go do that. And then they go and they're doing it. And before they know it, they realize, I don't like this thing. I hate this thing. I don't want to do this thing. So yeah, that is pretty cool. I like that. I really like what you mentioned there. So in your work where you are helping people come into this realization, do you find that there are people who have really big ambitions? And when I say really big ambitions, I'm comparing it to your ambition and my ambition to become billionaires. Like to me, that's like a big ambition. Do you find that you have people who have ambitions as such, that big? Or do you mostly find, in terms of finances, really, because I mean, there are other ambitions, but in terms of financial growth, do you come across people like yourself who want to be reaching for the $1 billion status, or mostly people just reaching for $1 million status?
Well, that's an interesting question because I can say this, the people that I work with, they've got big dreams. They don't always quantify them according to dollars. And yet when I look at it, I can absolutely see that in order for them to achieve the impact that they're focused on, they're looking at how many people can I serve and how, or maybe how visible can I be? Yes. In order to get to that level, then the money naturally comes with it. Yes. So, that can be, it's a chicken and egg thing then, because if someone has beliefs that are blocking money, they're going to block their impact. Yes. And if they have something that blocks their impact, like a visibility issue, then they're going to block the money. Yeah. So one way or another, yes, super big dreams. That's the people who get drawn to me. The people with the smaller dreams, they go elsewhere. Yes. We don't have the soul agreement to work together.
Absolutely. And no wonder people with really big dreams are drawn to you. You have a vision of becoming a billionaire yourself. Tell us, how did you come about that vision? What sparked that desire for you to want to reach for that $1 billion status?
It's honestly more about the journey than the destination.
Okay.
And not that I don't want to be a billionaire. Yes. I see that as the outcome that I reach by going through the journey of all of the inner work. Yes. that I'm doing to unblock my process. Yeah. And all of the outer work that I'm doing to help other people. Mm-hmm. And part of it's because I don't know any billionaires. There's no one in my family. And so I want to know what that's like. I see it on TV, or maybe what I see on TV is millionaires. One of my guilty pleasures is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Ah, okay. Yes, yes.
And so I see that lifestyle, and I get curious about what would it be like to live my version of that.
Yes.
So it's really about having the experience and all of the impact that's going to happen along the way by the time I get there.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, because there are many billionaires who talk about, just pursuing their passion and loving what they're doing and constantly reaching for more impact and influence, making life better for everyone as much as they can. And as a result of that, reaching and not really putting a ceiling or anything on what they can accomplish, finding themselves, being at that $1 billion level as well. So you're right. I mean, with the impact that you're talking about, as well as the inner work that you're doing and the outer work, it's natural if you don't have like you said, a barrier that stops you from really reaching that level of success, or you haven't placed that barrier there yourself and say, okay, no, I do not want, because someone did once tell me I don't want to be a billionaire. So I'm assuming that decision then cuts that path. It limits the kind of, or the amount of impact that they can have. If it's going to get them to $1 billion status, there will be a block because they've deliberately put it there.
Yeah, in fact, the block is already there, and that's why they don't want to be a billionaire, because something within them is telling them it's not okay to want that. And in fact, that's one thing I wanted to say to you, Free, is I so appreciate and am grateful for the work that you're doing to break that stigma and to make it okay to want to be a billionaire, and to encourage people to say that and to claim it for themselves. I mean, that is from the bottom of my heart. I see that you're doing that, and I really, really thank you for it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so honored to hear that. Thank you very much, Christina. That really, really, it makes my vision that much more impactful, that much more influential, that much more, richer, right? When I hear you say that, because obviously this is something that for me was something I wanted for myself for a long time, and sort of just kept to myself because I kept thinking, how many people out there are going to want it? This is, and of course I had those blocks around actually saying it out loud in public space. And I had to start saying it in private spaces and among family, among friends, until it became really normal. And then I had to start saying it in a group space online. I just got bold enough. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start saying it. And then once I started saying it in a group space, more public space than my private space, but still a private space because it's a closed group space. Then I started seeing that other people were saying it too, and then I just got to the point where, like, just take this a step further and just go out there and just blast it out to everywhere and not really give a rip. But that takes a lot of inner work and transformation as well, because I had to get to a point where I didn't give a rip what other people thought about it.
Yeah.
And I just made a decision that I only cared about the people who cared about similar dreams. If they wanted that dream, they'll come along and we'll go ride together. If they didn't care about the dream, they could just fall off the wayside and go look for other people that they were more in tune with. But going for that highest vision has been, for me, so it's absolutely amazing. And I was just telling, we're still recording, but I was just telling Christina, Natasha, actually, her middle name is Christina, but her first name is Natasha. Natasha, whom I was just interviewing before. I was just saying that it's really interesting how when you I don't really want to say break through, but I guess we could just use that term for using sake. So when you break through those barriers that you help entrepreneurs break through, and you reach for that highest vision, and you go through and leave behind all those things that hold you back. When you do that, then you start, it's like arms start supporting you that were not there before. Like you start getting pulled up, you start meeting, people of, say, that kind of caliber, so to speak. They start to reach out to you as well. So your sphere opens up, right? And then it's so interesting because then you realize, oh my gosh, I wasn't the only one with that dream.
Yeah, whatever you express, you attract. And
yes.
So it's funny how the belief that we're alone keeps us from expressing it. And it's only when we dare to express it, then we see, oh, I'm not alone, as you said.
Not alone, yeah. And it's so much more fun. Yeah, it's so much more fun when you have all these other people too, with similar dreams, and you guys can bounce ideas and you can have fun, just thrilling around that topic, So truly, I'm grateful to be able to share this experience and have women like wonderful, amazing women like yourself join in the movement, so to speak. So, but I want to take this back, Christina, and ask you, what is your top metaphysical strategy? Because you and I, before we started, we talked about Saint Germain, which is the picture and your background there. And yes,
Saint Germain. There we go.
Yep, that one. So you're a metaphysician, you're using metaphysics deliberately in your life and in getting your business to grow so phenomenally. Could you share with us your top metaphysical strategy for myself, of course, and for the listeners? So something that we can actually take and apply and get results.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say my top metaphysical strategy has been doing my healing work on myself and continuing to ask what's, like, every time something comes up, asking what's underneath that and what's underneath that. Like, okay, I feel anxious. Well, why do I feel anxious? Because I have too much to do. Well, why did I create too much to do? Or why do I feel like it's too much to do? And always asking myself what's underneath that for me. So that's something that anybody can do at any point. And for me, what it led to was getting all the way down to the real root causes that are deep in the subconscious mind. And I had some curiosity about this, and it's actually something that in a do-it-yourself fashion, it is something that people can work on and sort of course correct along the way. Because what's deepest in your subconscious mind, that bottommost layer when you dig down, is something that's called the core wound. Have you heard of that phrase before?
I have heard of that phrase, yes. I have heard of that phrase, the core wound, yes.
Okay, and it's not always used in the same way. So when I use it, it refers to the very first wound to our psyche, the very first misalignment in our energy and our chakras, the very first negative thought pattern that got introduced into our mind. And it turns out it happened, believe it or not, back when we were still babies in the womb.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Back when we were still babies in the womb. Talk about that some more. I really want to elaborate. What does that mean? Oh my gosh.
So let me tell you a story about you.
Okay.
You and each member of the audience who's listening to us.
Yes.
When you were a baby in the womb and your soul first came into your body, you were perfectly perfect. Your energy was perfectly aligned. You were in this beautiful, blissful space of being one with the universe, being connected to God, being connected to your world. It's what we're trying to get to now. And the beauty of that is your cells remember that somewhere for some fraction of time when you first started living, you were perfectly connected. But then what happened was you started to develop your senses. Yes. And what I learned is the very first sense that we develop as humans is not one that's governed by the brain, but one that's governed by the heart. It's a sense of empathy. It's our ability to literally feel other people's energy.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you used that to start feeling your mother and father's energies. You're definitely your mother, and when for people whose father was around, you start feeling both of them. And and there's a biological instinct that would say, well, the way I'm supposed to learn how to be human, and I can start now because I can be tuned into mom and dad. So whatever they are, I'm going to see if I can do the same thing myself. So that's through that sense of empathy, you felt their energy and started adjusting your energy patterns to match theirs. Unfortunately, though, they had been having life experiences that had brought their energy down from the pure, positive, completely connected. I mean, that happens to everyone, no matter what your life experience is. And so the very first time that you adjusted your energy to match theirs, it created disconnection, blocks in one of your chakras that started to pull you away from that feeling of being one with the universe.
I see.
And that was traumatic. That's what forms the ego. That's what forms the sense of separation from God. And the feelings it creates are, I am unworthy, I am unlovable, and I am powerless.
Oh my gosh. Oh, those are the worst ones. Oh no, we picked those already. Picked those while we're still in the womb. Oh.
Yeah. And everything in our human experience builds from there. So those wounds, they are healable. The only reason we've never healed them is because we didn't know they were there. But it's information an insight that I've pieced together from my teachers and from my work on myself and from my work with my clients. So those wounds can absolutely be healed, and then that healing dominoes out. But since I know you're looking for strategies that people can use right now, even without the healing, to know that, okay, I can affirm for myself that I am worthy, yes. I am loved, I am powerful. Those are the 3 most powerful affirmations you can make for yourself as often as possible.
Wow, that is my gosh, it's so fascinating. It fascinates me that when you're in the womb, you're not even fully formed yet, you're still in development, and you start to get affected. And there is just no way, it seems, then that you can avoid that, because you are coming to humans whom, for one reason or another, through the living of life, have picked up all these, beliefs, and are even if, let's say, that even babies born to yourself, myself, though, and I say that as those of us who have been doing some sort of work on ourselves, still pick up these things because we're not in alignment every single moment of every single day. Mm-hmm. So if our babies were in our wombs and we were upset about something, and we were putting out this energy of being mad, in that moment, they could actually connect with that and pick up unworthiness or something in that moment. Would you say, though, that is part of the process, that as a source being coming into physical reality, that we understand that this is going to happen and we're okay with that process? Because I'm assuming if we did not want to be tainted, in quotes, with that, we would just remain pure positive energy, I guess. What would you say about that?
About whether we knew that was going to happen?
Yes, whether we knew it was going to happen, whether we were okay with the fact that it was going to happen, whether it started happening in the womb or it started happening once we came out of our moms, it was going to happen.
Yeah, my perspective on it is we agreed to it, and even if somebody had tried to communicate to us, okay, but this is what it's going to be like. We said, of course, out of love, I will do this, but we didn't understand. It's like if a doctor's about to give you a shot and the doctor says this is going to hurt,
yeah.
You don't actually know how much it's going to hurt until it happens, and you don't have a concept of pain until you experience pain.
Yeah.
So I think us coming into the human experience was a lot like that, where we didn't know how hard it was going to be.
Yes.
But, and here's the other thing I was going to say, but we knew we were going to have support, but we didn't know that crossing the veil was going to make us forget for a while that we had this support. And yeah, but I do think overall, everything works out exactly how it's supposed to. And I love the saying that God's will cannot be thwarted. You know, we are all here because we were guided here by Spirit, and we can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
So that is
such a consolation, that knowing that you can't get it wrong no matter what it looks like to our society, convention, rules, all of that, in the eyes of Source, in the truest form, truest nature, we can't get it wrong. That is such a freeing feeling. And I say it opens space for easy forgiveness, really, because you just, in the end, it really doesn't matter. You're fully forgiven, so to speak. I know Source doesn't really see anything to forgive in the first place, but you know, for us, being in human form, I mean, it feels wonderful. And having those affirmations and truly believing I am worthy, I am loving, or I am loved, and I am powerful. Mm-hmm. Those powerful words, indeed. I mean, and transformational, truly, when assimilated and truly understood. Because those are really powerful words there. Because you look at it, take I am loved, for instance, as an affirmation. If we could truly affirm and fully believe that we are loved by ourselves, by Source, truly first, and really embody the fact that we're truly loved, my gosh, there would be no need to care about what other people think of us. There would be.
Yes.
Which is one of the most challenging things for most humans. We care so much about what other people think.
Yeah. And you know, there's some other feelings and concepts that go along with being loved. And the biggest one is feeling supported. Those two go hand in hand, loved and supported. And that's really important for people who, in your audience, you know, who want to manifest their big dreams, whether it's net worth or otherwise, that it's one thing to have the desire and the goal, but the other half of it is believing in the core of your being that you will be supported in manifesting it. Yes. And so if you don't feel loved, if your subconscious mind is putting out that message that says, I'm unlovable, what it's also saying is, I'm disconnected from the world around me, I'm not supported, and so I can dream all I want, but my dreams are never going to happen.
Yes.
You have to have both. You have to have lovability.
Yes, that is so true. And all of that. And if you have that lovability and you have support, then you have power. Mm-hmm. You feel strength because you feel you're not alone. You've got the power. You've got the universal forces supporting you. And if you have the belief that you've got the universal support, then it means you've also got human support, because human is also part of the universe. So yes. it all starts to, and then when you have that, then you know you're worthy.
Yes.
Right? If you're being supported, it's because you're worthy of support. If you're being loved, it's because you're worthy of love. And so all of that, I can see how this is so impactful for your clients, and obviously for any of the listeners and wonderful beings that are going to be watching this. Powerful if we can assimilate. How do you get your people to really assimilate this, Christina? How does one go from I'm not really worthy of that to I am worthy? How do you help them get there?
Yeah, in my case with my clients, it's doing the healing work, using the energy healing, energy psychology is really what I call it, techniques, to go deep into their mind. I mean, that sounds more invasive than it is. It's actually very gentle, like listening to a guided meditation that I'm consciously leading you through. And doing that work. So I've created this package of programs that I labeled Fearless Freedom.
Okay.
I think it's a powerful brand name.
Mm-hmm.
And so I lead people through the healing process, where after doing this work enough times, I've identified, here's the framework of what everybody's got deepest in their subconscious mind. It's pretty much all the same, deep at that level. And so what happens is when we heal the blocks, then the alignment and the assimilation you spoke of, it happens naturally and in many cases instantaneously. It's been really amazing to watch, like someone flipped a switch to see my clients suddenly put themselves out there, making sales calls, posting on Facebook, the changes instantly make in their relationships at home and their relationship with their own bodies. And it's just, I feel so privileged to have the opportunity to witness people stepping into their power like that, because we are naturally powerful, and the only thing that ever stops that is what's inside our minds.
Yes. Wow. Mindset is so interesting. So with all this amazing work you're doing, let's say someone wants to contact you, how would they reach you? What is the best way for our listeners to be able to connect with you if they would like your assistance with anything?
Great question. I'll suggest three things. First, my website is ChristinaAmmerman.com, and that's got, if you want to go straight to give me the information about the work, that's the place to go. But a more fun sort of website to go to is I created an online quiz that actually tells you which of the possible core wounds is at the deepest, the center of your mind. So you can woundquiz.com. And I say
one quiz, I'm going to write it down myself because I'm going to hop over there.
You're doing that right after this interview, right?
Yes.
Quiz. So
quiz.com. All right.
Yeah. And it's I see stuff like this as fun. I see, understanding what's going in my mind. To me, that's fun. I realize that's not everyone's idea of fun, but the quiz is definitely insightful and it's accurate. Yes. So that's the second place that people can go. And then the third one is I have a Facebook group. And I know you've got a Facebook group, and I think it's so fun to be in as many relevant communities as possible. Yes. And so my Facebook group is called Worthy, Loved, and Powerful. So if you just
Worthy, Loved, okay. So based on those three core wounds, okay. Yeah. Worthy, Loved, and Powerful.
Yeah. So it's a community of people who recognize the importance of feeling those three things. And I do a lot of sharing and even some teaching in there to help you, get more aware of your worthiness and your lovability and your power. And then also, what you're doing sometimes that you might not even realize are getting in the way of those feelings and that power.
Wow. So Christina, I'm glad anyone who wants to meet you, they can do that. And what's going to happen is we're going to have your website right there on the screen when we're done working on the video, so that they can see you. They can go directly to your website, or we're also going to have these Facebook group and the fun quiz as well in the description of the video, so they'll be able to click on it and go take this quiz, because that sounds really cool. I wanted to transition just a little bit and go back to being a billionaire and talk about, I know when you're a billionaire, Christina, there's going to be lots of different causes that are going to be called to your attention, because people are going to want these dollars that you've accumulated. What is one cause that you know for sure that is going to receive millions of your dollars?
I really love this question, especially because I know that we're not all drawn to the same cause. And I see in the bigger picture that if we all let ourselves honor what we're drawn to, instead of trying to decide, well, it's best to support kids or it's best to support veterans or whatever, when we allow ourselves to support what just feels best and natural to us, then everything gets covered. Yes. And so for me, it's always been music, the arts, but especially music. And one of the things I aspire to, in fact, I'm thinking to myself, why am I not already doing this, is I want to see my name in the playbill for the local performing arts group that, you know, says when they list out the donors. And I'm myself, you know, like I know the local group has, you know, probably for like $100 a year, I could just do that and manifest that reality right now. But I want to be in that top echelon of donors at different levels of community. And I think the big thing would be to create a performing arts center of some sort, but not a big fancy one, something that's for the community, so that more people can be involved in music and experience the joy and the healing and the transformation that happens with music, because that's what it's about for me. Is
absolutely.
And emotions are so tied together, and it's like a universal language.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's my thing, music.
That sounds beautiful. That sounds very soothing. What sort of music? Are you in all genres, or do you have a specific genre of music that calls to you most? I would say overall in the big picture, I'm an all genres person. And then what I get drawn to specifically is based on mood and purpose. So am I looking to boost my mood? Am I looking to calm myself down? Do I have some anger or something that I'm trying to work through? You know, people are always surprised to hear, for example, that I've got some Eminem on my playlist. Ah, pretty cool. Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, what's that song? Yourself from the movie 8 Mile. That is a fantastic anthem about seizing opportunity and not letting your past get you down. And I think so many people can relate to that in so many ways. I definitely do. Yeah.
Wow, that is it. You know, that is so fun. I find I'm in a similar situation where I do like a variety of music, and it's really based on what mood I'm in, what I want to feel right now, that type of thing. So yeah, I think we're similar that way too. Yeah. Very cool. So now that we've talked about the cause, which is music, awesome cause, truly. What is your vision, if you've thought about it? I know I have spent countless hours dreaming about my billionaire lifestyle, my private jet. I've got it down, all the corners and colors, you know, my yacht, the homes, the different places where I'm going to have homes, the staff have been picked out already. What sort of vision do you have for your billionaire lifestyle? What is it that calls to you there personally? I love that question. You ask such great questions. I love good question askers. I'm fascinated by the vision that I have, because it actually reflects my astrology, my birth chart a lot, because my sun sign is Taurus, but my moon is Aquarius. Taurus wants a place to stay put and create a home. Aquarius wants to move around all the time. Interesting.
So it's a lifestyle that where I would have a home in the mountains and a home at the ocean, where each, and those are the two that I've come up with. Probably also a home in the city, an apartment in a city that is has a lot of life to it. And each one would be fully, what's the word I'm looking for? Each one would be a home. Each one would be equipped with
fully furnished and
so that wherever I am feels like home to me.
Yes. That is awesome, because that, a home in these various areas, first of all, we're talking millions of dollars, which is absolutely fabulous. We're talking hiring staff as well to keep those homes up to par and to furnish those homes. And we're talking, your stylist, making sure you have clothes in all the closets so that you feel at home whenever you arrive. The staff prepare your home. If you're going out to the mountains for a couple of months or whatever, when you walk in the door, it's as if you'd never left. It's your home, it's homey, you can relax there when you walk into your home in the city. I love that. And that's the vision that I have. Well, it's similar, except that, I want to have homes everywhere. I mean, well, all places in the world where I love, in France, at least 2 homes in France alone. So I can see that, and it's exciting, which means travel. And how do you plan to travel? Are you traveling by private jets? Are you going to be fun?
I would say probably not. Definitely first class.
First class, yeah.
But there's something about traveling among other people that sparks something for me. I don't want to be so disconnected from the rest of humanity that I feel like I'm alone. Yes. I'm fine to be out among the riffraff once in a while.
And that's
but in first class, so not the rippiest of the riffraff.
Yes. And of course, being in the business lounge or the first class lounge, so you're not, you can do some work if you need to follow up on some communications in a quieter space, right? So at least that being first class affords you that opportunity as well, which is great. I'm definitely going to be flying private jet. So.
Yeah, and for me, if first class turns out not to be good enough once I'm there, then yes, I will get the private jet, and I have no blocks to getting the private jet.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that vision. It's really cool. Okay, so I want to just go in and ask a final question, which is, what advice do you have for any woman or man out there who has a big vision, but maybe they're afraid of reaching for it? One reason or another, they've got these barriers that you talk about and that you help entrepreneurs. What sort of advice would you have for them?
To remember that vision was given to you by Source. And Source would not offer you a vision that could not be fulfilled.
Wow. Yes. And you know that was this, I asked the same question to Natasha before, whom I interviewed just before you. And she said something very similar. She said her advice, just pick any advice. And this was the advice that she picked as well. So I'm thinking, this all has to do with me and has to do with our listeners as well, because this is coming through the second time back to back. And because she said, God will not dangle a carrot in front of you if there is no way for you to realize it, or no way for it to become a fruition in your life. So just know that your dream is there because it's capable of being realized, which is similar to what you've just said.
Yeah. And God also decided that you were the person who would be the best fit for that vision. There's a reason you have it. You are worthy of it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's time to start focusing on allowing the affirmations of being powerful, of being worthy, of being loved into our lives in order to be able to move forward boldly with this vision, knowing that it was given to us for a purpose, knowing that it's given to us because it's capable of being manifested fully and satisfactorily in physical reality. Christina, thank you so very much. I so appreciate you being on here. This has been great fun.
Me too. For me too.
Yes, thank you. And to everyone who's watching, thanks so much for being here. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up and leave some comments. Of course, subscribe so you can receive more awesome, incredible videos just like this. Christina, until next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you all. Thank you very much.